Let's go over Star Wars Episode 9, the final film of the Skywalker saga and the sequel trilogy alike. This is Mike Zero here. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, as you all know, Episode 9 is a big Star Wars movie. It will conclude the sequel trilogy and the Skywalker saga as a whole. Now, today I wanted to focus on the subject of Rey as a character, J.J. Abrams, and what he has plans for with this character. Now, we do know that Episode 9 is going to have a lot of big surprises in this movie, a lot of twists and turns. Even Donald Gleason has expressed this before just a couple of weeks ago when he was on a specific podcast talking about Episode 9, and that this movie is really going to be a treat. So I think that a lot of this has all to do with Rey's lineage. We do know that for Episode 9, J.J. Abrams does have big plans for Rey's lineage in this movie. So looking at Rey as a character, I wanted to look at Rey's last name and why Disney and Lucasfilm have been hiding her last name ever since we saw The Force Awakens. Now, Rey's last name in Episode 9 is a necessity. I feel like that a lot of people want to know more about her as a character, her personality, her background, her whole entire past. I think we want to learn more about Rey, and we want to make it very special in the final installment of the sequel trilogy itself. So I think that Disney actually has been hiding Rey's last name for a specific reason. Two reasons, to be exact, I think are the big possibilities. The first one being is that they are hiding her true lineage and that her last name is one that we already know, such as Kenobi or Skywalker, maybe even Solo if they want to go down that route. So it could be that they're hiding her last name for that specific reason, because maybe she actually does have ties with either Kenobi, Skywalker, or Solo. The other reason is that maybe it's a way of keeping their options open. Maybe they had a lot of, tough situations, a lot of tough times on deciding on exactly who Rey is from movie to movie, and maybe they backtracked a couple of times internally while they were developing these films from the inside over at the studio. I think that maybe going into Episode 9, now they finally do have a concrete answer as to who Rey really is, and they will be revealing her last name in this movie. I feel like that it's about time, and it's the only way to do this, because if you explain this in comics or books or something around those lines, the majority of Star Wars fans are not going to really know. Again, a lot of the people who buy these books and the comics are the hardcore fans or casual fans that truly want to learn more about these new characters. So I think that her last name needs to be revealed in Episode 9, and I think that they are hiding it for a specific reason. I think that there's a true reason as to why they are hiding her last name. I think that she is personally affiliated with one of the characters that we already know about. Maybe she's a Kenobi, a Skywalker, a Solo, maybe even a Palpatine. Or if they really wanted to go a different route, they could borrow a different lineage from other Star Wars source material, such as somebody from Rebels, or, the Clone Wars, or maybe even some books or novels and comics out there. I mean, the possibilities really are endless, and I just hope that J.J. Abrams does something special for Rey's name as a whole, and her character specifically. Now, the good news is that we do know that JJ has big plans for her lineage in the final installment of this movie. Exactly who is she? Who are her parents? These are the questions that we are all answering, or should I say questioning, that we want to be answered in Episode 9. And I think that we are going back to Jakku, most certainly, from all the different set leaks that we actually went over today. I think a lot of that points to us going back to Jakku. Why else would Rey go back to Jakku? Maybe she learns more about her parents and her true lineage. It could very well be that maybe Luke's Force Ghost is the person that reveals Rey's true last name. And that, to me, would be a special moment between those two characters. So, with that being all done and said, Rey's last name in Episode 9, I think, would be a special moment. I also think that Finn, as a character, deserves to learn about his real name as well as us, the audience, learning that, right? A lot of people tend to forget that Finn is not Finn. Finn is a name created by Poe Dameron, and Finn alright, has a real identity. He's kind of similar to Rey in a sense. We really know nothing about Finn. His past, his backstory, his real name, who his parents are, right? It's kind of funny when you think about it like that. Both Rey and Finn are very similar, whereas Poe Dameron, you actually do learn a little bit more about his parents in the comics, and you know his last name, you know his identity, you know some of his background and his backstory, and that's what I like about Poe Dameron out of the three characters. You know, the same could arguably go for Kylo Ren, where you don't know the full story per se. But anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.